It had 19 sanatoriums, restaurants and even a cinema. In the 60s, it went into decline and the family's dream was dashed. It was in this complex of 19 buildings that the history of Caramulo began, but since the 1960s, no one seems to care about many of the buildings that still remain from the sanatorium that became one of the most important in Europe. Practically forgotten since April 25th, some buildings have been restored, others demolished, but 6 still remain completely abandoned, including the main building where it all began. When Jerónimo de Lacerda opened the Grande Hotel in 1922, he was far from imagining that he was making history in Portugal. In Paredes do Guardão, as the town of Caramulo was known at the time, in the municipality of Tondela, at the time the doctor only thought about the potential of the good air of the mountains to receive convalescent guests at the time without tuberculosis. But Jerónimo de Lacerda was an ambitious man. After the hotel built at an altitude of 800 meters, which became a sanatorium 6 years later when it began to receive tuberculosis patients, came another 18 buildings including sanatoriums, infirmaries, health homes and a surgery pavilion, restaurants, cafes, cinema and even a radio station. The Tondela doctor thought of everything: energy, water, even a sewage system. A technician was sent from Berlin to study the best solution for the location. By the way, the Estância Sanatorial do Caramulo was the first to have basic sanitation at the national level. A network of roads was also designed. At the time the connections were terrible, vegetable gardens were cultivated and orchards were planted. Forest services were even created to afforest the mountains. Jerónimo de Lacerda dedicated his life to Serra do Caramulo. The first steps were taken here to found the town of Caramulo, the first Portuguese town to be planned from scratch, and the place became the largest sanatorium in Europe. The fame became worldwide, and no wonder, in fact, the cures took place. In 1945, Jerónimo de Lacerda died following a heart attack, and the legacy passed to his children. Abel, the eldest son, left his economic and financial sciences course, he later completed his studies, to take control of the ranch. In the 1950s, Abel, an economist, and João, a doctor, decided that it was time to give the resort a new life. Advances in medicine showed that very soon the place could no longer be needed. It was at this time that the brothers tried to enter the tourism sector. Abel, passionate about art, and João, a car fanatic, decided to build a building, each to display their collections. The estate remained until today. However, there was no longer any salvation for the Estância Sanatorial do Caramulo. 10 years later, it went into decline. After April 25, 1974, there was nothing left to do. The last sanatorium closed permanently in 1986. Not all buildings were left in ruins. In the 90s, the Salazar Sanatorium, at the time intended for members of the army, became the Hotel do Caramulo. The sanatorium next door is now home to the Institute for Stress Prevention and Occupational Health. There were other projects that were transformed into residential buildings and retirement homes. Others were even less fortunate. 3 were demolished because there was a risk of them collapsing. The remaining 6 remain forgotten there, 2 more that are partly in ruins. In the children's sanatorium, for example, the structure of one of the outdoor swings still survives. In the surgery pavilion there is still a rusty medical stretcher. The Estância Sanatorial do Caramulo was more than a sanatorium construction. It was the construction of a pioneering urban concept, elaborated with responsibility and health security. Its creation developed the first basic sanitation plan at national level and a series of infrastructures: small hydroelectric dam, first automated telephone network, post office, radio station, cowshed, central laundry, etc. All thought to make Caramulo a self-sufficient village. The historical context is fundamental to understand the process of rise and decline of the sanatorium village. The implementation of the Estância Sanatorial do Caramulo in that part of the mountain was responsible for the marked transformation of the place, building sanatoriums with avant-garde architectures for the time. However, the evolution of medicine against tuberculosis announced the end of the need for hospitalizations and sanatorium facilities, thus leaving a problem: what to do and/or how can we transform the use of these now obsolete facilities and buildings? The answer to this question are varied. Some of the buildings have been transformed into houses, others in homes for the elderly, others demolished, and others are vacant and in doom. The dissertation's main motivation is to highlight the historical importance of Vila do Caramulo and provide a set of information that allows a more sensitive look at this heritage. In this 4-episode series, we will visit some ruined and abandoned sanatoriums. In one of the episodes, we will visit the Grand Sanatorium that still existed at the time and has now been demolished. Until the date of these episodes, the remaining sanatoriums still exist in ruins and abandonment. Episode 3: Grand Sanatorium. Built to be the Grande Hotel, opened in 1922, it became the Grande Hotel Sanatório in 1928. Later in 1933, it was converted into the Grande Sanatório do Caramulo and finally the Jerónimo de Lacerda Sanatorium, 1946. 4 construction phases are identified that changed, among other factors, the volume and perimeter of the building. The first phase is the construction of the building. The second phase involves adding a volume to the west side wing, healing gallery on the second floor, and modifying the roof of the central wing, removing the dormers. The third phase is the most evident, as the increase in the program generated a significant increase in the built perimeter, giving rise to 2 new bodies: North Wing and Showroom Wing. On the facade, 2 volumes on the ground floor, one for the use of a commercial establishment, west, and the other for the pharmacy, east, in addition to the mere alteration of the roof, now with platebands in which all the dormers and part of the mansard were removed, thus promoting a mutation in the architectural style. The fourth and final phase refers to the addition of another floor only on the west wing, destabilizing the compositional balance of the main body. In 1984, Albert Cruz created a preliminary project for the conversion of the sanatorium into a hotel. In the west wing, some modifications were made that respect the aforementioned preliminary project. Currently, on the ground floor of the east wing and the west wing, there are respectively the Núcleo Sportingista da Serra do Caramulo, Sporting Club de Portugal, and a laundry. In the lower part of the lot, where the Grand Sanatorium was built, the Caramulo Tourism Board operated and still operates, founded by Jerónimo de Lacerda, with the aim of to promote and develop the region. In front of the joint, a trucking station was opened, and as new patients arrived at the station, they went there for prior screening and thus knowing which sanatorium would be sent. The building is made up of 3 bodies: the main body, original, which underwent expansions on the west wing both in height, width and length to the north and west in order to cause a deformity of this volume. To the north of this west wing another rectangular body was added, north wing, lower and octagonal to the main one, which intersect. There was also the addition of a new rectangular body, wing of the concert hall of the east side. However, the connection between these 2 bodies is through a small connecting element corridor, resulting in total in 3 distinct but interconnected bodies. As for the roof, it is made up of triangular-based roofs with fiber cement tiles which, when seen from the main facade, do not represent much of a formal expression, but when seen from the back of the building are notable. In areas at the back of the ground floor that deviate from the height of the rest of the building, the roofs are flat for functional reasons, that is, they level and allow access and circulation to the external parts. In the atrium and wing area, the roof of the concert hall is flat, the intention of which is clearly formal. The addictions resulted in a complex form that is difficult to read, very different from the original body. The main body is the highest, with 5 floors in the west wing and 4 floors in the central and east wings. The body to the north wing, has 2 floors, the second being level with the 3rd floor of the central body, west wing, since the terrain is on an incline. The concert hall wing has 3 floors, with the ground floor being shallow due to the slope of the lands, but all floors between this wing and the main body are level, that is, the ground floor to the 3rd floor.